In maybe the strangest move of the day so far, the Cleveland Browns have traded for the Eagles' backup quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Yeah, Kenny Pickett might be the bridge quarterback of the Browns in 2025. I'm going to break it down and let you know why I believe the Browns have decided Kenny Pickett is the choice to maybe start in 2025. The official deal is Kenny Pickett and a 5th-round pick, which, based on some of the trades we've seen this offseason, a 5th-round pick isn't nothing. Kenny Pickett for a 5th-round pick and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That is the trade. A 5th and Dorian Thompson-Robinson for the former first-rounder, Kenny Pickett. Now, the first thing that comes to mind with this deal is this quarterback, Kenny Pickett, will be the short-term solution for the Cleveland Browns in 2025. Deshaun Watson is injured. Deshaun Watson has a pretty big contract. I'm not sure if you've heard. And they needed a quarterback who could play NFL starting caliber snaps, who wasn't going to be that costly. And I guess they decided that Kenny Pickett is the answer. Now, I don't know how I would feel if I were a Browns fan. Honestly, I probably would be pretty upset. So you guys let me know in the comments, because I'm a Patriots fan. I can't relate to your fandom. So please let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, Gronk spike the like button if you want. But Kenny Pickett is interesting because he was the first quarterback picked in his draft class, 20th overall in the 2022 NFL draft. He was seen as a solid NFL starting quarterback once upon a time. He played as the Pittsburgh starting quarterback for pretty much the first 2 seasons of his career. He won 14 games in 2 years, going 7-5 in both of those seasons. Above 500, for those of you that are counting. So that alone is not terrible. When you look at his stats, he had 7 touchdowns to 9 picks in his rookie season. In his sophomore campaign, he had 6 touchdowns to 4 picks. He won 7 games with only 6 touchdowns. Now, that doesn't include his rushing statistics as well. Those are simply just his passing stats. 63% completion, 62% completion, and just over 2,000 yards in both seasons. So he was a game manager at best. Now, his skill set is one of, I would say, decent mobility, fair athleticism. Sometimes he's a quarterback that feels like he's more athletic than he is. Like one of those Baker Mayfield-esque type of guys, where I'm not saying he's as good as Baker or anything like that, or as talented as Baker Mayfield, but he has this mentality that maybe he's a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, a little bit stronger than maybe he actually is. That being said, he does have a bit of a gamer nature to him, both as a scrambler and a passer. He's willing to make some throws. He's willing to sit in there, take a hit, and make a throw. He's fairly accurate in the short and intermediate ranges, but he doesn't have a very strong arm, okay? This is a quarterback that I could see Stefanski maybe liking a little bit because he's got a little bit of mobility. He's got a little bit of athleticism. He's pretty accurate. He's certainly not dumb. He has plenty of playing experience, both in the NFL and at the college level. He's a little bit of an older player when it comes to like being a guy that's only been in the NFL for 3 years. He's 26, turning 27 in June. So he's not young, right? He's got the maturity to lead. And it's interesting. Like, is Kenny Pickett the next Sam Darnold? He's a guy that just sat behind Jalen Hurts in a Super Bowl run, learning from Kellen Moore and the Eagles offense. And maybe you could sell yourself on in his first 2 seasons, he was working and operating behind not a great offensive line in Pittsburgh. not a great offensive coordinator in Matt Canada, who's one of the worst I've seen. And now he goes to a situation where he's got a pretty good offensive line, a veteran offensive line in Cleveland, a team with a really good defense, a team with a really good offensive play caller, and a multi-time Coach of the Year candidate in Kevin Stefanski. And you got David Njoku, you got Jerry Jeudy. Like, I could see where the Browns maybe look at him as a little bit of a bargain bin player. Like, a bit of a bargain. When you consider, okay, Justin Fields just went for a 2-year deal worth $40 million, 30 guaranteed. Kenny Pickett is still on his rookie contract, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look up his contract right as I'm speaking right now, because I believe he's on his rookie contract, which means there's a lot of flexibility with that money, which means he's very cheap, which is a big deal, right? So even though he was a first-round pick, so it's not like the cheapest, but you look at his contract, so he's making $2.6 million this year. 2.6. For a quarterback, that's nothing, right? That's absolutely nothing. $2.6 million. I'm pretty sure they won't extend him. I'm pretty sure they won't be looking to pay him any more in terms of this year. I think the reason they made this move is for the cap flexibility. Kind of like Mac Jones in a way as well, right? The Patriots traded Mac Jones to Jacksonville. Jacksonville took him, made them, became the backup in Jacksonville. He actually ended up playing quite a bit for them. So I view it as a little bit Mac Jonesy, a little bit Sam Darnold-ish, where it's like a former first-round pick. You could clearly see the physical limitations in Kenny Pickett's game in Pittsburgh. Doesn't have the strongest arm, tough to throw into tight windows, but possesses good touch, good timing, a better athlete maybe than some would think. He's got decent size, has played in this division, has experience even last year. Now, I felt like he didn't play that bad when he filled in for Jalen Hurts. He did win one game. He had to fill in another game against the Commanders and actually played decent in that game. When looking at his stats last season, he was 25 for 42, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns to 1 pick. He also had an 86.5 passer rating, which would have been the best of his career. He took 4 sacks in the 2 games that he played. Or I guess it says he played 5. I'm not sure, like, extensive snaps. I'll actually look at the game logs here. I'm pretty sure it was 2 games for Kenny Pickett. Considering this is basically Kenny Pickett for a 5th-round pick. Because Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not any good at football. I mean, he's awful. Like, he might get cut. He might not make the Eagles roster. Like, just look at Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's a former 5th-round pick who some liked coming out of the draft, but he has 1 touchdown in his NFL career and 10 interceptions. He has literally one of the worst starts to an NFL career I've ever seen. He has a 53%, not even, 52.6% completion rate and a 1 to 10 touchdown interception ratio. That's how bad Dorian Thompson-Robinson is. He is horrendous, right? And you guys know this. Kenny Pickett's more interesting. So he played 2 games. So last year he played against Washington when he didn't know he was going to start, and they lost that game 36-33. He went 14 for 24, 58%, 143, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 6 yards per attempt. He was sacked 3 times. He had 25 yards. He had 13 yards rushing. So yeah, it wasn't the best game for him. He did have a much better game against Dallas the week after, 10 for 15, 66% completion, 143, 1 touchdown, 9.5 yards per attempt, 119 passer rating. But watching him against Washington, I didn't think he was that bad. I don't think his numbers are, I thought he played better than that, just based on what I recall from that game. But obviously the turnovers were a key factor in the game when they lost that game. But yeah, Pickett, Super Bowl champ, former first-round pick, was in a really bad situation in Pittsburgh. I could see where Cleveland is kind of coming from on this one. I could see it a little bit. I don't think he has a ton of upside, though, to be a starter. I think he's a true backup. That would be my take. I just don't think he has the physical capabilities from what I've seen at the NFL level. That being said, he's got composure, he's got confidence, he's got experience. I think he can operate this system fairly well. And I feel like this might be the best system he's ever played in for his skill set. That would be my opinion. Because he's got a little bit of mobility, he's got good timing and accuracy. And Cleveland was kind of rumored to go after potentially Kirk Cousins. And I could see Kenny Pickett being in the same lane as a Kirk Cousins. Maybe not as good, definitely cheaper. And again, he's making $2.6 million this year. So I understand why Cleveland made this move. A 5th-round pick. Quarterbacks always go for more, so that kind of makes sense. And especially because a valuable backup is valuable. Kenny Pickett could be a valuable backup to many teams, including the Eagles. So I kind of understand that. But you guys let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? And if you want to join the BLV Discord, I'll leave the Discord link in the pinned comment for you guys to join and check out. It's absolutely free. Love having more NFL fans in there. That's where I post all of my videos, all of my NFL content to keep you updated. I'm always in the chat as well, and we've got a really nice community in there talking ball every single day, so make sure to join that. But those are my thoughts on it. I wonder if this is their true answer for the starting quarterback position of Cleveland in 2025, or maybe they'll still draft somebody at number 2 overall. To me, I tend to believe this is probably the guy they want to run with, or at least it gives them the out. Like if they don't pick a quarterback at 2, or they're stuck, they at least have somebody that they can roll with. That's another way to look at it, is it gives them the opportunity to examine all options in the draft. They don't have to force a quarterback, right? And maybe they even draft a kid in the 2nd or the 3rd round, and they end up having him compete with Pickett for the time early in the season. So I think this is interesting. Kind of like Justin Fields, maybe not quite boom or bust for the Jets, not the money that the Jets gave Justin Fields, but it's a former 1st-round pick who's still relatively young. Maybe there's something there. So Cleveland goes with the cheap quarterback and Kenny Pickett. We'll see if he can shine with Kevin Stefanski. Thanks for watching. Gronk, spike the like button. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.